This video will be a full tour and documentation of this 2014 Chevrolet Malibu 1LT.
This Malibu is painted in crystal red tint coat.
The front door panels do have storage areas. It does have power windows, door locks, and mirrors.
The interior is finished in jet black with cloth and vinyl seating surfaces.
It does have a fully powered driver's seat, and you still get a partially powered passenger seat. And now, let's go ahead and start her up. On the key, you've got the buttons for lock, unlock, trunk release, remote start, and panic.
The Malibu is Chevrolet's current midsize sedan offering that competes with other hot sellers like the Honda Accord, Nissan Altima, and Toyota Camry. The Malibu dates back to 1964 when it debuted as a trim level of the Chevy Chevelle. It was produced for 3 generations until 1977 as a Chevelle trim, before becoming its own standalone model for 78 when the 4th gen was launched. The 4th generation Malibu lasted until 83. The Malibu would then go on a hiatus. After the hiatus, the Malibu returned in 1997 for the launch of its 5th generation, now being front-wheel drive based and using unibody construction. Since 97, 5 more generations of the front-wheel drive Malibu have been produced, and for 2022, the Malibu is in its 9th generation. This 2014 we have here represents the Malibu's 8th generation overall, and the 4th generation of the Malibu's post-hiatus front-wheel drive midsize iteration. The 8th generation Malibu was sold in North America for model years 2013 through 2016, with 2016 8th gens being called the Malibu Limited since the redesigned 9th gen Malibu had already gone on sale that same year. The 8th gen Malibu rides on GM's Epsilon 2 platform. The styling of the 8th gen Malibu is somewhat Camaro-esque, especially at the back of the car with those taillights. Interestingly enough, the 8th generation Malibu got a refresh for 2014, after only one model year. The 2014 update most notably gave it a slightly different front end, which means if you know what to look for, you can actually specifically distinguish a 2013 from a 2014 to 2016. '14 models also had improvements to things like suspension and interior space. Refinements were also made to improve efficiency for the base engine, and torque was boosted in the 2-liter Turbo 4. It also got some other subtle changes, such as a new center console, among other subtle tweaks that I didn't mention. Main trim levels for the 2014 US market Malibu include LS, 1LT, 2LT, 3LT, and LTZ. The engines, depending on the trim level, include a naturally aspirated 2.5-liter inline-4 making just under 200 horsepower, and a 2-liter Turbo 4 making about 260 horsepower. The refinements made to the base engine for 2014 improved fuel economy quite a bit, so much so that the Malibu Eco mild hybrid was dropped. However, although it's not mentioned in the official brochure, as far as I know they did actually make a few 2014 Malibu Ecos early on, which had the 2.4-liter inline-4 paired to an electric motor. But anyways, the sole transmission for the US market 14 Malibu is a 6-speed automatic, and the standard drivetrain is front-wheel drive. In Chevrolet's 2014 US sedan lineup, the midsize Malibu is slotted between the compact Cruze and the full-size Impala.
The instrument cluster houses 4 analog gauges, including your tachometer, speedometer, fuel gauge, and temperature gauge. And there is also a digital info display, which is controlled via the menu button and the up and down arrows on the turn signal stalk. It has a 4-spoke design, a multifunctional steering wheel. It does have sport grips at 10 and 2. The steering wheel was used in many Chevrolet models throughout the late 2000s and especially first half of the 2010s. As for controls, you have your cruise controls on this side, and on this side, you got the hands-free phone and voice command controls and audio controls. It is a tilt and telescopic steering wheel. Storage for the driver, your headlight switch, panel dim, air vent for the driver. You've got your high beam, turn signal, and information display stalk. And on this side is your wiper stalk. Going down the center of the interior, got air vents up top, the touchscreen interface for your MyLink infotainment system. The screen itself can also double as a door, which covers up a pretty substantial storage compartment or storage area. Some of the physical controls for that: volume power, tuning knob, a lot of shortcut buttons, things like your seat track, all that kind of stuff. CD player slot. Got your single zone climate controls, hazard light switch, got a power outlet, and your traction control. Interesting styling cue, almost like the air vents, sort of. You got the air vent, the chrome strip along there, and it just almost continues, blends into this. Same thing as into the door panel as well. This generation Malibu. And I do like this wood trim. Putting it in reverse does reveal a backup camera. Next to the gear shifter, you got a little bit of storage, a cup holder, and behind it, more storage, another cup holder. The parking brake is hand operated. A center console with some storage, along with a power outlet and USB port and aux port. Both sun visors do have vanity mirrors and lights. OnStar roadside assistance on the rearview mirror. Passenger airbag indicator. Overhead lighting, garage home link, and you also got your power sunroof controls. One-touch automatic. There are grab handles at all 4 corners. And finally, we'll have a look at the MyLink infotainment system. Right now we're on radio screen, so FM radio, push source. You got AM, FM, Sirius XM, Bluetooth audio streaming, and of course your CD player, then your Pandora, Stitcher apps and whatnot. So this is the home screen right here with all your different pages. So you can pair a phone, your shortcuts to FM radio, Sirius XM, Pandora, now playing, just takes you to your radio screen. Bluetooth audio, tones, so your audio settings right there. Config. A couple of these are what these shortcut buttons will also take you to. And then you got your Sirius XM stuff. You have a subscription, your local weather, local fuel, all that kind of stuff. Now we'll go ahead and roll down the driver's window. All 4 windows are automatic down. And we'll have a look at the engine bay.
The rims of the 1LT trim are these 17-inch 5-split-spoke aluminum alloys. The 1LT is powered by the Malibu's base engine for 2014, which is the Ecotec 2.5-liter naturally aspirated inline-4. It's a dual overhead cam 16-valve power plant with direct injection, variable valve timing, and variable valve lift, along with auto start-stop technology. It cranks out 196 horsepower at 6,300 RPM and 186 pound-feet of torque at 4,400 RPM. Delivering that power to the front wheels is a 6-speed automatic transmission with a manual mode. Running on regular unleaded with an 18.5-gallon fuel tank, EPA estimates are 25 mpg in the city and 36 mpg on the highway. It has a McPherson strut front suspension, a multi-link rear suspension, and 4-wheel disc brakes with ventilated front discs. Curb weight for the 1LT is roughly 3,400 pounds.
Also got storage areas back here. The rear seats are 60-40 split folding to aid cargo space. Both front seats have storage pockets on the backs. And you got a folding center armrest with 2 cup holders and some storage. As someone who's about 6 foot, 6'1", well, I do have the front seat to where I would have it if I was driving. So legroom is actually all right, but it could be a lot better. And headroom is, they do make the roof go up slightly, so I do have decent amount of headroom. And chances are, if there's someone, if there's someone driving who is quite a bit smaller than me, then I probably have quite a bit more legroom and it'd be more comfortable. So this is only with someone of my size driving in front of me how I would feel back here. Single exhaust.
The trunk of the Malibu offers 16.3 cubic feet of space.
And as you saw earlier, the fuel cap is located on the passenger side. Anyhow, thanks for checking out this tour of this 2014 Chevrolet Malibu. And as always, stay on the lookout for future tours.